Please rise for our graduating class of 2023. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Tebow, and I'm the principal of Somersworth High School. I want to begin by welcoming you all to the Somersworth High School and Career Technical Center's Class of 2023 graduation event. I am incredibly thankful to be here today, together in spirit and as one community, in the shared purpose of giving the Class of 2023 an exciting and memorable graduation event. I would also like to thank our hosts here at the UNH Whittemore Center for their flexibility and hospitality in allowing us to use this space. To begin, I would ask everyone to please rise for the national anthem, which will be performed by our very own SHS choir. Welcome again to the Class of 2023 graduation event. I would like to begin by saying thank you to all of you who have worked so hard to make this day possible. From school personnel and administration to students, families, board members, and community members. None of this would have been possible without your help and your support. And I want to take a moment to recognize our Somersworth High School Class of 2023, who, particularly over the last 4 years, has endured many challenges and overcome many barriers on their way to this day. Time flies, doesn't it? It seems like just yesterday I was speaking to you as freshmen in our cafeteria. That was your first day in high school and my first year as principal. We both had a lot to learn, and I do not think anything could have prepared us for what the next 4 years would bring. From remote learning and mask wearing to quarantine periods and many, many different schedules, your class saw it all, did it all, and persevered through incredible challenges. And I think you are stronger for it. Bon Jovi once said that success is falling 9 times and getting up 10. In your time at Somersworth High School, you failed and fell, but you got up. You learned that no matter the obstacle or the adversity, the only thing that matters is your response. I stand here proud of all that you have done and all that you have accomplished. You have won state championships, put on amazing performances and shows, completed projects, and gave so much back to this community. You, the class of 2023, have certainly left your mark. And although you may be leaving our school community to pursue your passions, projects, and next steps, I want to remind you that this is your home, and you can always come home. I'm going to end with a few pieces of advice. Life will go more quickly now. Remember to prioritize those you love, your family, and your close friends. Those relationships are what is most important. Never stop learning, whether you have 4 years of post-secondary education in front of you or are joining the workforce. It does not matter where or what you learn, only that you stay curious. And finally, there will be times when life knocks you down. Things can get hard and may seem impossible. Remember to keep getting up. Congratulations and thank you to the class of 2023. We are so proud of you. I will now introduce Deputy Mayor David Witham, who will deliver the opening remarks.
First of all, class of 2023, your principal referenced Bon Jovi. Anybody know who that is out there? Better than I thought, so well done. Well, good evening, everyone. On behalf of the city of Somersworth, Mayor Hilliard, the entire Somersworth City Council, thank you for the invitation to be here tonight. You know, for the last 10 years, Mayor Hilliard has delivered this welcoming address. However, he cannot be here tonight as he's in Washington, D.C. on business. He does send his best wishes to you all. Like so many things in life, there are pros and cons to what we encounter along the way. One is happening here tonight. You have me instead of Mr. Hilliard, and I'd offer that that's a pro because I'll shave about 30 minutes off of this presentation here tonight. I hope he's not watching from Washington. Has it sunk in yet? You guys are going to graduate here tonight, but you haven't graduated just yet. And for that, I want to try my hand at teaching, hence the prop that I have in front of the podium here. You know, 5 years ago, maybe almost to the day, my son Caleb graduated from Somersworth High. I was chatting with Mr. Seeley about that here tonight. And those were amazing years at Somersworth High. From band to basketball to baseball to the classes, there were many memories made along the way, and I'll never forget them. I know your families won't either, nor will you. But life moves on, right? We move on and we create different memories, and you all will as well. I want to remark, though, about one memory that I have that's really special to me. And it happened almost 5 years ago to the day this coming Saturday when his class, the class of 2018, was lucky enough to play for the high school baseball championship at Fisher Cat Stadium over in Manchester. And that morning, as Caleb got ready, grabbed his gear, and headed out to catch the bus at the school, he said, "Dad, any advice for me today?" And I knew there wasn't much I could offer him. He knew the game better than I. He played the game better than I. All I said to him was, "Go down swinging." So hence my prop in front of you here tonight. And I'll explain for those of you that are not into baseball quite as much as I am. There's a few of you out there that are. Zeph, Andrew, Corbin, you know what I'm about to talk about here, I think. You know, in baseball, when a batter has 2 strikes on him or her, and the next pitch is a strike, that batter has one of 2 options. Let the pitch go by and have it called a strike by the umpire. Or swing at the pitch, maybe trying to hit it, maybe striking out. But in either case, a strikeout swinging or strikeout looking is what we're talking about here. And hence my prop. It's a K. And you'll notice I put it in front of the podium backwards. So for baseball folks, you know that the official scorekeeper will note in the scorebook when a batter strikes out looking, the K goes in backwards because the coaches want to know, did you go down looking? Right? And I think there's a message here in life. You've all heard the saying, I think, go down swinging, and I think its roots are in baseball. I'm going with that for tonight. Those of you with a phone can Google it and hit me up afterwards if it's not true, right? I'm going to change it. Because in a baseball scorebook, when you go down swinging, the official scorekeeper records the swing as a forward K. It's entirely different. In both cases, it's a strikeout, but in one case, you left it in the hands of somebody else. In baseball, it's the umpire. My charge to all of you as you move on in life, whether that's going into the armed services, the work world, going on to school, whatever your life's journeys may bring you, my reminder to all of you is to go down swinging. Don't leave the destiny of your result in the hands of somebody else, like a baseball umpire in baseball. Graduates, congratulations. You've done well. Much life rest in front of you. And on behalf of the City of Somersworth and the Somersworth City Council, again, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Witham. It is now my privilege to introduce the Somersworth High School and Career Technical Center Choir, who will perform Count on Me by Bruno Mars, Philip Lawrence, and Ari Levine. Thank you, students, for that wonderful rendition. I will now introduce your senior class president and the class of 2023 salutatorian, Calvin Lambert.
Good evening, and welcome friends, family, faculty, and Somersworth High School class of 2023. Today is an exciting day, because today we've all gathered to listen to me speak. Yeah. Now before I begin, I would like to congratulate everyone for being here. You have all worked so hard to overcome the obstacles to sit where you are now. Obstacles like Miss Blanner's biology class, copious amounts of acne, and, of course, the $20 fee for caps and gowns. But, hey, we did it, so let's give ourselves a round of applause. Freshman year, the halls ran rampant with Visco girls and hydro flasks. It seemed like everything was described as chuggy, and the only thing that kept me sane were the movies that Miss Nadu used to show us that admin definitely did not approve of. But I remember turning to Mary and one day and saying, I can't stand much more of this, we need a new play. And boy, did I get my wish. Because 2 weeks off from school turned into 2 months, and eventually a whole year. COVID was an obstacle that kept us isolated and confined to our homes. But we made the most of it by keeping our cameras off and playing COD and 2K. But in junior year, I'm sure we can all agree here, was amazing in every aspect. I mean, we're back in school, not a care in the world. I mean, if you're behind on work or failing a class, just say, COVID was rough for me, and you're fine. Senior year, on the other hand, holy crap, what a ride. Cramming college applications in the middle of a tough course load, writing reflective essays, being insightful. This year was difficult, no doubt. Hell, our 4 years have been tough, but it's time that I would never wish back. Because it was time spent together, or rather experience together. No matter what way you cut it, we've all had an impact on each other. The banquet this past Monday was evident of that. From music albums to window licking, we recognized each other for the things that set us apart from the rest. It was time spent learning and growing. One of the first major lessons I learned was when I met Mr. Tebow, which was not in the cafeteria like most of us. It was actually in the weight room the summer before freshman year. And that day, I learned that male pattern baldness is a real thing. And it affects millions each year. The challenges we faced and the adversity we overcame held something special behind it. A wise teacher, let's call him Pojo, because that's his name, once told me that frustration is like wrapping paper. Once you tear through it all, there's a gift inside. So because I have no intention of being within the time limit of this speech, allow me to tear through some wrapping paper. In my mind, the wrapping paper of freshman year was epitomized by the moment when Thomas Hasty, known by some as Tommy Two-Tone, Tommy the Tank Engine, or Tommy Boy, was hit by a moving SUV. He wasn't hurt. Those of you that know Tommy understand that in an incident like this, the car is more likely to be damaged than him, and that was precisely the case. There's a nice dent in the back of this car, shaped just like Tommy, that I got a great view of as this upperclassman drove away without a word. Now, you may be wondering, how does this apply in the slightest? It doesn't, I just wanted to tell you about it. But, no, I'm kidding. But the point is this. Freshman year, we were all hit unexpectedly by a moving vehicle that is Somersworth High School. And when we got hit and dropped down, the upperclassmen left us on the pavement without a word. All that was left was to allow your peers to help pick you back up so you can all admire together the dent that you left. Our gift was that we learned how to depend on each other. Sophomore year was nothing but wrapping paper. First with COVID, and then Tom Brady left the Patriots. Our frustrations were in the things that we lost. Our social life, our extracurriculars, and our QB1. But through these things, a valuable lesson was learned. Our gift was the ability to find peace in the things that we cannot control. Junior year, as fantastic as it was, wasn't without its wrapping paper. We were now upperclassmen, so we naturally developed a burning hatred for all underclassmen. But the general animosity we felt in the hallways was nothing compared to the burning hatred that was felt towards underclassmen in the cheer state competition. Those of you who were there know that our cheer team kicked butt. They ended up taking runner-up in their division. However, it was discovered when they received their scorecard that they had points reduced due to inappropriate accessories that weren't part of the uniform. Now, a quick survey of the girls, and you can easily spot that the accessory in question was a Lightning McQueen anklet worn by a freshman. Yeah. Now, it's amazing how something so seemingly trivial can make such a large impact. The scoring sheet did not specify how many points were deducted due to the anklet, but it very well could have been the difference between their second place finish and first place. Despite this, the cheer squad tore through the wrapping paper quicker than most competitive spirits would, and found their gift, the ability to forgive, even underclassmen. Now, I think it goes without saying that Kanye West is representative of the wrapping paper of our senior year. Well, maybe we're not saying, I'll elaborate, give me a second. But senior year felt as if every time you opened your mouth, you dug yourself deeper in a hole that was already 6 feet deep. That is until you watched 21 Jump Street, then everything was pretty cool again. Now, we all worked our tails off to get here. The frustrations we battled through and overcame left us with the gift of commitment and consistency. Without these two things, we would never have been able to finish what we started 4 years ago. Now, writing this speech was wrapping paper in of itself. Frustration set in pretty quickly because I was struggling with what message I wanted to send and what wisdom I wanted to impart to you all. So as I worked through my own frustration, I found the gift that I was searching for, and that gift is purpose. When we leave this building tonight, we will all diverge down different paths and different walks of life. As we tread this new ground and trailblaze a new path, remember nothing worth doing can be done without purpose. In fact, nothing can truly begin without purpose. So as we all begin the new chapter of our lives tonight, do so with purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you very, very much. At this time, I am proud to announce your class of 2023 valedictorian, Quintina Zen.
Good evening, parents, friends, teachers, distinguished faculty members, honored guests, and most importantly, the remarkable graduates of the class of 2023. I'm extremely honored to stand before you today as not only the class of 2023 valedictorian, but also to commemorate all the memories and accomplishments of our extraordinary class. We have embarked on an incredible journey together, filled with countless experiences, challenges, and triumphs. We should all be immensely proud of ourselves for reaching this momentous occasion. As we look back on our high school journey, I want every graduate into this room to reflect on the growth we have experienced, whether that be mentally, emotionally, or physically, while the latter does not apply to me since I'm in the same height as 5th grade. As we entered high school on our first day of freshman year, we encountered the unknown layout with unfamiliar classmates and different educators. We kept ourselves tucked away in the corners of our new classes, and we were deeply confused by the numerous bells that went off during third block. We were introduced to a quarter system, being able to choose our own classes, and looking forward to final schedules when we were able to go home early. Unfortunately, we were unable to finish our freshman year in person. Sophomore year in the fall of 2020 was interesting, to put it lightly. I've never needed to stare at my computer screen for hours on end, and was probably more distracted by my environment than I was paying attention in class. I blame our sophomore year for forcing me to need reading glasses, which I of course still refuse to utilize. Junior year came around, and we were completely back in person, and I wasn't completely sure how I felt about it, although I can tell you how I reacted to it. I never would have imagined that I could fall asleep in my classes, especially during a time when I was taking an AP class first thing in the morning, 2 math classes back to back, and an honors social studies class, but I managed to anyways. Honors Pre-Calculus was the last class of my first semester, and there was not a single day that I wouldn't be dozing off in class. I even have photograph proof that shows me slacking, if anyone doesn't believe me. I want to give a shout out to Tanya for always catching me up on the pre-calc lessons that I missed, and I want to formally apologize to Mrs. Rumsey for sleeping through your class. And finally, we reach our senior year. I'm sure for many of us, senior year stretched on for what felt like an eternity. But at the same time, it seemed like just yesterday, we were wandering through the halls as the first time being seniors. I distinctly remember towards the beginning of the year, when a specific teacher, who I won't name, told me that they will get me to headlock to Metallica this year. I would like to announce that I have not. This same teacher also made fun of me my junior year for turning in a paper 10 minutes after it was posted, as well as refusing to give me additional extra credit because I already had 104 in that class. However, senior year completely altered my work ethic. I not only picked up the habit of procrastination, but I also pulled an all-nighter for the first time this year. That 10-page research paper for Brit-Lit wasn't even started until 4 days before it was due, when normally I would have had it done a week beforehand. I've also made the executive decision multiple times throughout the year to skip school, when previously I was obsessed with having perfect attendance. I'm sure many of us share that slack of motivation this school year. To sum up the last 4 years, it's been a hell of an adventure. The tears, sleepless nights, stressful situations, and extreme diagnosis of senioritis was an experience like no other. And I wouldn't trade up for anything, even if I could magically make Seeley remember how to say my name correctly. But like Seeley's inability to remember the pronunciation of my name, we all have our own flaws that are unique to us. These quirks are what enhances our character. It's what makes us human. I'm not perfect, no one is. And I'll never want to be perfect. If there's only one message that I take away from the speech today, it's that I hope no one ever starts chasing for that perfection. I'd like to close my speech today by recognizing all those that have impacted our journey and being able to walk across the stage. While I could go in detail on how I was influenced by all those in this room, I'm getting kind of tired, so I won't. First and foremost, I would like to thank my parents for always encouraging me to make my own decisions and dealing with my attitude during the whole college process. I don't know where I'll be today if it wasn't for your unwavering support. I would also like to thank Mrs. O'Brien for being the best advisor a class could ever ask for, Mrs. Verrill for putting up with my endless schedule changes, and Mr. Stanley for being sort of cool, I guess. Oh, and Seeley too. Thanks for listening to me rant. And lastly, thank you to the class of 2023. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for growing up with me and creating memories and showing me how to have fun. I can't wait to see who we all become. Congratulations, class. We made it.
Thank you, Quintina, and congratulations, students, on all that you have accomplished. At this time, our SHS choir will perform a rendition of Just the Way You Are, with words and music by Khalil Walton, Bruno Mars, Ari Levine, and Kari King. Thank you so much, students. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to present Mr. Scott Seeley, your class of 2023 commencement speaker.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations to the senior class. The last 4 years went quickly, but showed the perseverance and diligence of each and every one of you. Some of you needed to focus on the grades, others needed to figure out how to keep up 4 years of motivation, and yet others needed to survive. High school has a way of seeming easy if you're on the outside looking in, but hard while you're experiencing it. I'm honored to be here. I don't take any of it for granted and appreciate the class of 2023, Mary, demanding that I did this. To some extent, this is probably revenge for requiring you guys to give presentations on constitutional amendments. But hey, it seems like you guys survived that, and I'll probably survive this too. Who knows? As many of you know, I had my U.S. history students read a book about time traveling, Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five. As a history teacher, I willingly time travel for a living. As a combat veteran, sometimes I'm forced to return to a time I'd rather not. I'm sure I'll make future appearances at this moment with you guys. I don't know when I started time traveling, but I know when I became aware. So my story is, when I was young, I wanted to be the first in my family to attend college, but I feared that commitment when I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do afterward, which I'm sure a lot of you guys go through now. I didn't have the answers because I didn't really even have the questions yet. How can a 17-year-old tell you what they're doing with their life? I'm 40 and barely know the answer to that. I think it's normal to not really know what you're going to be doing tomorrow. You're always too busy figuring out who you are today and how you'll survive until tomorrow. Never thought I'd be a history teacher. Who plans on that? I joined the Army right after high school simply because I had to figure out what I could do. I joined the Army right before the war on terror started, and I was trained to be a nurse in Washington, D.C. when the September 11th attacks happened. A few weeks ago, I went back to 2003. It's one of the years I visit the most. I was young, just a couple years older than you guys are now. A man I knew, Jason Medford, I can only describe as battle, which is a term of endearment soldiers use for each other. He grew up in New Hampshire as well, and we served in the 28th Combat Support Hospital together, which is kind of like MASH, if you guys have ever seen the TV show. He was my medic while we were in Iraq, and we pulled guard duty together, we whined about the devastating heat together. We talked about what life would be like together in the future, and we saved people together. There's no one out there who knew me or my experience better than Jason Medford. In a lot of ways, I owe the present to him, as working with him helped me give me purpose. Showing him how to do basic medical procedures is one of the two main reasons I would later become a teacher. I'm proud to say that I taught him how to be a medic, but he helped me find fulfillment in finding out who I was. He became a better medic than I or most of the others in my unit were. A few weeks ago, I reconnected with him for the first time since we were in Baghdad 20 years ago. 20 years have passed and everything is different, but little has changed. Neither of us stayed in the medical field after our time in service, though our time in combat allowed us both to figure out a bit about who we were and what our next stop would be. We both faced similar struggles in our post-service lives. I think that 20-year-old versions of us would be happy with how we turned out. While I'll always be proud of what I did in service, I'm most proud of what I do here now with Somersworth, in the Somersworth community. The reason I'm now here at Somersworth is because of my pride in impacting this community, our community, with a proud past and a bright future. Community gives us all a share of something greater than ourselves. To quote a former president, if there's a child who is struggling, that matters to me, even if it's not my child. Our country's motto is E pluribus unum, out of many one. This message is one I see present and alive in the Somersworth community, a sense of togetherness, especially in the class of 2023. Despite our individual goals, struggles, and achievements, Somersworth's strength is in being one community that continuously supports all who are part of it. When I think of community, I think of it being a Friday night football game under the lights. I think of Steve Hodson, Christy O'Brien, and the NHS kids all ensuring that we can set a record for food donations to New Hampshire Tackles Hunger. I see past and future grads there sharing the sideline, rooting for Somersworth football players and the cheer squad. There's the Remex firing up the grill, Eric Monson proudly calling the game over the intercom, and the family coaching dynamic between cheer and football, and of course, our terrific marching band. I look forward to these games. Where else can you talk to current students, grads, parents, and other community members? And sometimes even watch the games, though this year, you guys only seem to play about half a game or so before, Anyway, these last couple of years, the proud past of our current students was realized as they won state championships in football and volleyball and performed well in cheer competitions. When I think of community, I think of the various parents, students, and Somersworth citizens who are here to support everyone. So I want to talk a bit about the senior class. My first real exposure to the senior class came during the transition from remote to in-person learning 2 years ago. The year was challenging for you and me. For various reasons, it had me reconsidering whether I wanted to stay in education or stay at Somersworth High School. Remote learning was hard, and the more we did of it, the more I struggled, which I'm sure a lot of you guys did too. It misses one of the most important parts of education, which is the human element. I don't remember much from the 2020-2021 school year, but I remember having a US history class that everybody seemed eager to learn and participate. I remember everyone having their cameras on and willing to talk, and that class made me think, I'll see how one more year goes, and here we are a couple years later. What else stuck out to me about this class was just how nice everybody was, and that's the entire senior class. This class rallied together, going back to normal high school when your normal was toppled by COVID, and that seemed like an impossible task, but it more or less worked. So I want to return to 2003 one more time. I turned 21 my last day in Baghdad, and the needs of the Army were sending me to Hawaii. While this day was a day I looked forward to for months, it was one of the hardest days I've experienced. This wonderful group of people that I'd known over the last year was closer to me than I could ever imagine. And I was despondent when I didn't know if I'd ever see my family in the 28 cash again. The hour-long ride to the airport lasted a lifetime. Time was broken, and I was stuck in purgatory between the past and the future. Not knowing the fate of all those I served with was unbearable. I cried more than I would at any point in time in my life. The feeling of separation was not something I was well equipped to deal with. It was the first time in my life I was fully aware of a weakness I had, other than my inability to remember certain people's names. Sorry, Benoits. Sorry, Quintina. Sorry about half of you. I became terrified of everybody becoming too close to people. What was the point? I asked. The moment isn't real and it'll be gone quickly. I was too busy thinking that potential relationships would hurt. When life forces to go in different directions. I was too scared to ever appreciate the moment. I returned to New Hampshire hoping this would resolve itself. I could handle many of the difficulties the Army threw my way, but saying goodbye was something I never quite figured out. This is the other reason I became a teacher. I realized how vulnerable and difficult it was to face the inevitable goodbye when I became close with a group of people. In the Army, those goodbyes felt permanent, and oftentimes they were. Teaching would be different, I hoped. I thought the students I knew well would update me on their lives after SHS. And so I could convince myself that closure wasn't necessary. I recently read a book called Invisible Storm, and this is all about a combat veteran who had his life together. He's even going to run for president, until he realized he never fixed his own issues. This book stated people might not seek help if they don't consider that they earned it. I'm sure this is felt by the general population, but it's especially prevalent among veterans. People fall into the trap of minimizing their own issues, so they don't address them. Jason Cantor, the author, wrote, I talked myself into the idea that what I'd done didn't count, that I couldn't have PTSD because I didn't earn it. As if I could dispatch my trauma by belittling it. What a giant waste of time that was. One person's brain doesn't know what another person's brain has experienced. And that stuck with me. It showed me what I knew but needed to be told by somebody else, that just because I didn't lose a limb didn't mean I was completely healthy. And while people had it worse, it didn't invalidate the real struggles that I'd had and never dealt with. So I needed to be given advice from somebody else. So I want to leave you guys with some advice before I wrap this up. First, be nice. So much of life is easier and better by simply showing up and being nice to other people. Don't assume the worst in people. Optimism is harder than cynicism, but it's more fulfilling. Another Vonnegut quote, a purpose of human life, no matter who is controlling it, is to love whoever's around to be loved. Love those you share this experience with. Number 2, and this echoes part of what Dave said, be willing to make mistakes and take chances on yourself. In the words of Voltaire, and some of you have heard me say this, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You'll make mistakes. I've made several here today alone. You'll likely be your own worst critic. In fact, you might be the only one who notices them. Be willing to make mistakes, but learn from them. And the older you get, the harder it is to safely make them. So take those chances while you're young. And trust me, own your own mistakes, especially if you're in a position to lead others. Here's the unspoken secret of adulthood. We're all just trying to do our best. No one notices when our best falls short. We're all getting by one day at a time, 1 week at a time. Even the people who seemingly have their lives figured out. We all struggle. We're all human. And third piece of advice, be involved. Don't be a bystander. Vote like your life and liberties depend on it, because they do. Don't wait for it to be too late. Go down to the city hall and register. Youths often disenfranchise themselves through apathy. Don't. Government and society are a reflection of its most active participants. I regret that in my younger years I was too scared of the future to ever appreciate the moment, despite having plenty of wonderful moments. I feared the unknown, and constantly wondering how tomorrow could measure up to today. But tomorrow can't be today. It seems to me that life is all about 3 things: the people you meet, the experiences you have, and the moments of happiness. Change is as difficult as it is inevitable, and saying goodbye is as well. I worry that this year I'd be without many of the colleagues I've relied upon for years, as they're no longer at SHS, and I owe much of my current success and strong mental health to some people who are in the audience now, like the Harrises, Patricia Nadeau, and Nancy LaHoo. But almost all the credit for me surviving this year goes to the current graduating class. You're incredible, you're literally why I'm here. I know every class wants to be known as the best class. I've been at Somersworth for 10 years, and maybe it's because of the first impressions, or maybe it's the academic prowess, but it really does feel like a special class. Truth be told, I've not solved my problem of goodbye. It hasn't been easier. Students ask me, will you miss me? And I try to shield myself from that. It usually works in the moment, but doesn't help with tomorrow. Inevitably, I realize in August when I'm trying to mentally prepare for the upcoming school year, and I can't picture it without you guys, who have been fixtures in my classroom for years. As much as you've all needed me at times, the feeling was mutual. And returning in the fall will be extraordinarily difficult without the class of 2023. You guys are my post-COVID norm. You're now firmly part of Somersworth's proud past and bright future. It's easy to miss the moment. Don't make the mistake I made where I was so stuck in the future that I couldn't acknowledge the present. This moment is yours to keep. One final Vonnegut quote. Reflect on his experience of World War II. He wrote, I asked myself about the present, how wide it was, how deep it was, and how much was mine to keep. This is our present. This is your present, class of 2023. How much of this moment is yours to keep? But my time and our time with the class of 2023 is over. And my answer to it, if I'll miss you, is of course I'll miss you. You guys are great. I hope you can come back and happily remember what it was like being in the class of 2023. Thank you for letting me be part of so many of your moments. I'm so proud of all of you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to have some of the best experiences a teacher can have. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Seeley. Please put your hands together for our Somersworth High School and Career Technical Center Band, who will perform Baba Yatu by Christopher Tim. Thank you, students. At this point, I will welcome our CTE Director, Caitlin Carrington, Associate Principal Michael Bluen, and Athletic Director, Steve Hodson, who will recognize several outstanding seniors for special awards.
Good evening. The Dr. Harold Adams Award. This award is given annually to the student exhibiting the greatest all-around progress during the past school year. This progress is measured through scholastic achievement, service, and character. This year's recipient is Logan Forrest.
Good job, Logan. The Jacqueline Furlan Memorial Award. This award is given in memory of Mrs. Furlan, a Latin teacher at Somersworth High School. This is awarded to a senior who most exemplifies the qualities of warmth, sincerity, sense of humor, enthusiasm, positive attitude, school spirit, and genuine interest in others. This year's recipient is Megan Burgess.
The Unified Physical Education Award is new for the class of 2023. It is given in recognition of the unified athletes who contributed most to our community through their participation in adapted physical education. In their time at Somersworth High School, these award recipients have demonstrated tremendous school spirit and made incredible positive connections with students and staff. We are honored to be able to recognize and celebrate them here today. This year's recipients are Virginia Koch, Carolina Koch, and Morgan Newman.
At this time, we will begin our conferral of diplomas. I will call the name of the class of 2023 president, who, along with the vice president, will announce the name of each graduating senior. Marshals, please prepare the class of 2023 to receive their diplomas. Quincy Lambert.
Vice President Tanya Fiorella Luceno. There might be more of those coming. Secretary Kathleen Faith Sabroto. Historian Andrea Miranda. Treasurer Quintina Zen. Amari R. Scott. Cameron Jason Belanger. Grayson Ryan Benoit. Hayden Lucas Benoit. Connor Eric Denby. Harper Leslie Blank. William Jeffrey Brown. Megan Elizabeth Burgess. Ariana Cuevas. Bryce Aiden Carter. Zoe Luis Casella. Ludmilla R. Mary Chaka. Owen H. Clark.
Harmony Mariah Conley. Jacob R. Carrier. Andrew B. Cushing. Morgan Mackay Daniel. Dylan Davis. Jeffrey Robert DeCorn. Griffin L. DePietro. Kylie Marie Dodier. Michael Vernon Doyle. Devon James Fields. Kaylee Anne Marie Flynn Hartford. Logan J. Forrest. Sarah J. Foss. Alyssa Marie Frank. Theo Fung Grandmason. Thomas G. Hasty. Aiden Joseph Michael Heffron. Elena Jean Henschel. Ryan Michael Hilliard. Preston Michael Horton.
Saxon Brock Huntress. Riley Shea Jondro. Sienna Valerie Jeffries. Carolina Koch. Virginia Koch. Mary Grace LaFlamme. Pretty sweet. Olivia Grace LaMarche. Magdalena Greenlee Lanou. Kira LaPointe. K. Lauber. Campbell James Law. Gabrielle Mackenzie Lenski. Joel Sebastian Leminkewas. Nadia Deborah Leminkewas. Ty L. Martin. Michaela May. Alexis Nicole McCallion. Damon Donald McKay. Jason Miglianico. Jeremy Mateo Morse.
Dakota T. Nason. Morgan Aaron Newman. Alif Nugraha. Charles Blaze Paradise Collins. Joseph Michael Paradise Collins. Mahi Salish Patel. Jacob Lionel Potter. Renee Rosalie Remick. Naomi Lynn Renner. Reynard Jeremiah Robson. Frisbee William Rondeau. Alexia Rain Roy. Ida Runco. Estelle Bernadette Smith. Victory Jeremiah Samba. Zachary Jean St. Pierre. Dominic James Starr. Sherry Babasuk. Alicia Maria Tibbetts. Aiden Christopher Wild.
Morgan Page Williams. Corbin Peter Wood. Sethan Daniel Yoder. Dante Thomas Guillory.
Congratulations to the members of the class of 2023, and thank you to all of our graduation speakers, particularly our students, who worked so hard to be here today. I also want to take a moment to recognize a few people for their hard work and dedication in putting this event together. The team at UNH, especially Dean Easterling, Andrew Dolph, and Adrian Lumumba for their flexibility and support, Mrs. Christy O'Brien for her hard work as the class of 2023 advisor. She has been such a strong advocate and supporter of this class. Mrs. Donna Robeson, Christine Rush, and Julie Turgeon for the tremendous job they did behind the scenes organizing our efforts. Our amazing custodial staff for all the work they did to transport, set up, and prepare the facilities. Deputy Mayor David Witham for his remarks. Members of our Somersworth community, including the faculty, staff, and school board members who are in attendance this evening, thank you for everything you have done. And finally, a special thank you to our band director, Mr. DiBernardo, chorus director, Ms. McTague, and piano accompanist, Bob Godbout, for the wonderful performances. In addition, it has been a tradition at Somersworth High School to recognize the two highest achieving members of our junior class as graduation marshals. This year, our junior marshals, who are currently number 1 and number 2 in the class, are David Irott and Logan Stoddard. At this time, I would like to welcome Calvin Lambert, class of 2023 president, back on stage for the turning of the tassel.
All right, so Tebow told us the other day that, not every single class, everyone hasn't thrown their cap. So let's be the first to do that, eh? All right. So, traditionally, the moving of the tassel at graduation is called the turning of the tassel. Yeah. And it symbolizes one's transition from candidate to graduate. Standard protocol dictates that the tassel be worn on the right side of one's mortarboard during commencement, and then after the ceremony, move to the left side. Class of 2023, please join me on the count of 3 to turn your tassel to the left side. 1, 2, 3.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce to the Somersworth community the Somersworth High School and Career Technical Center class of 2023. We are so proud of you. At this point, I will ask our faculty and staff to rise and form a gauntlet for our graduates to walk through as they recess. Also, if anyone is looking to purchase hair combs, they will be available for sale on the concourse. Marshals, please prepare the class for the recessional.
Your stairs right there. There we go. There we go.